We arrived at the country villa bright and early, my mother-in-law and I greeted by the serene morning light and the promise of a peaceful day ahead. The drive was easy, with no traffic, allowing us to enjoy the scenery and each other's company. The cool air enveloped us as if to soothe us. This made the trip even more enjoyable. My wife could not join us as she was busy at work. When we arrived at our destination, we immediately set to work. From sweeping the porch to tending the garden beds, there was no shortage of chores. But despite the work, there was a sense of camaraderie among us as we approached each task with determination and humor. As the sun began to set, it flooded the villa with warm light. We returned to the house to freshen up. The sound of running water mingled with our laughter as we shared stories and moments of relaxation. My mother-in-law was busy setting the table, her deft hands arranging each serving with precision, while I was busy in the kitchen preparing a delicious roasted ham for our evening meal. As we sat down to dinner, the atmosphere was light and cheerful, filled with the clinking of cutlery and lively conversation. My mother-in-law and I talked about everything in the world, from family gossip to our dreams and aspirations. I couldn't help but admire her, not only for her kindness and wit, but also for her undeniable beauty. As evening fell and darkness enveloped the villa, I began to sneak glances at my mother-in-law as she arranged flowers or tended the herb garden. There was a grace in her movements that fascinated me. I couldn't help but admire her and feel a sense of warmth and affection for her. In a moment of levity, I jokingly remarked that if she were younger, I would rather live with her than with my wife. It was a gesture, of course, but it said that we had a relationship. I couldn't help but feel grateful for the day I had spent in the company of my wonderful mother-in-law. A day filled with laughter and love. She cooked snacks on the summer porch and I stayed outside, fighting mosquitoes and grilling sausages. The sausages were almost done. Two of my mother-in-law's friends, who lived on the neighboring property, came running to smell the delicious aroma. They are both about the same age and slim. They greeted me and immediately went to my mother-in-law's house. I entered the house just as they were leaving. My mother-in-law wasted no time in telling me that she had received an invitation to a birthday party and could not refuse. My mother-in-law hurriedly dressed, and I went upstairs with a bottle of champagne and several pieces of meat. I slowly enjoyed my drink. Gradually, the mood became more festive. Suddenly, I heard the door open. It was my mother-in-law, accompanied by her friends, whom she thanked warmly for a wonderful evening. I went downstairs and asked how the party was going. The mother-in-law was cheerful and replied that she wanted to continue. I welcomed such a lively mother-in-law, for I was not averse to having fun myself. We sat down at the table and talked about various things. My mother-in-law confessed her loneliness to me. I helped her and poured her another drink. Suddenly she exclaimed, "Why are we just sitting here? Let's put on some music and dance." I chose a slow tune, took my mother-in-law's hand, and we began to dance, moving together. My mother-in-law moved closer and closer to me. Perhaps due to a slight dizziness or for some other reason, our dance was unusually graceful. And when our eyes met, there was a spark between us. At that moment, everything became clear, and I no longer hid my feelings. We both threw ourselves into the night. Our feelings took over. In the morning we realized that we had made a big mistake. But deep down I also knew that this could be my first and last chance, and I took it. We avoided each other all day. My wife arrived in the evening. At dinner she asked me how we had spent the time without her. I began to blush, but my mother-in-law confidently replied, "Everything was fine. You have a wonderful husband." I have been anxious for more than a month now. I can't hide the truth from my wife, But at the same time, I understand that the truth can ruin our marriage. I hope you can give me some advice on how to handle this situation. Should I reveal the truth or keep it a secret from my wife?